Welcome to Shellie Soapbox. This is my platform where I share my perspectives based upon my experiences, my observations, or something I've read. So this podcast is about random thoughts. It's not going to be any specific topic. It'll be the thought of today. So thank you for joining Shellie Soapbox. Today's topic is one that I've decided to create to honor my mother, who passed away about 15 years ago. And I'm going to do my very best to not get emotional throughout this podcast. But I thought it was important for me to just share a thought that I had when she passed away. So I never thought that I would behave in the manner I did when my mom passed away. You think I'm going to be fine, I'm going to miss her, I'm going to cry. But it was an absolute emotional roller coaster for me that took a very, very long time to recover from. And so when someone asked me about it, the random thought and the random question that came to my mind, which is really just simple truth. I never imagined my life without her. And really trying to understand, why is it so difficult for me to deal with the loss of my mother? And as I'm looking at some of my friends who have recently lost their moms or lost their mothers years ago, it's the same situation. You are just dealing with this massive loss, that there is a part of you that has now been taken away forever. And so as I thought about this, there are these stages of grief. And I just want to take a moment to read the stages with you. So the first stage is denial. There's anger, there's bargaining, there's depression, and there's acceptance. And even though I'm at this moment of acceptance now, it still boggles my mind how challenging it is for me to deal with the loss of my mother. Now, my mom was everything to me. And what I mean by that was she was the one person that I could pour out my soul to her. I could talk to her about any topic. I could talk to her about school. I could talk to her about work. I could talk to her about relationships. I could even talk to her about silly things going on. There's this really funny memory that I have. One time I had called home, and I don't know, for those of you way back when we had answering machines, and if the person didn't pick up in time, the answering machine would pick up and it would record your entire conversation. So you hear me talking to my mom the entire time on this recording, and I do not stop. It is literally, I don't let her get a word in edgewise. It is just like blah 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 me, and then my mom saying, "Oh wow, okay," and then me again, blah 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 blah, and then to suddenly have that snatched away was really difficult for me to deal with. And my mother just was like a really great person. And one thing that I found about her is that she was really talented. She was this amazing creative, which I didn't realize at the time how amazing that was until I look back now. My mom was an amazing hairstylist. If you needed a press and curl, my mom had you. Hair braiding, my mom had it. Beads, styles, the whole nine, my mother was able to do it. The other thing too is that she would put together all these products, and I don't know what was in them, all these fragrant oils and things, put them together, put them in your hair, and suddenly your hair was growing. She was also an amazing cook. She had like signature recipes that she had. Now, the interesting thing about it is, like, there were these dishes rather that she would create that were really, really good. And people would ask me, even now to this day, like, oh, how does your mom make this? Or, yams was one of her things, or beef was one of her things. And I said, I don't know. Because one thing about her going is that I didn't inherit or take on any of those skills she have. I'm more of an analytical person than I am a creative. And so that's an interesting thing too about my mother being gone. People look to me to kind of fill the void for them that my mother had put there. She was this amazing cook. I don't cook at all. I mean, you best you're gonna get from me, you're gonna get a starch, you're gonna get a protein, and you're gonna get some greens. I'm not doing the full spread like my mother. So when people look to me to do that, I'm like, sorry, I don't have that. But it is also amazing to just remember how she was able to bring together people with food. And for those of you who also have moms that are really great cooks or were really great cooks, you might also know that they didn't measure, right? So you would call her and say, hey, mom, how do you make this? And she was like, I don't know, put some sugar. How much sugar? A cup, a teaspoon, a tablespoon? She's like, I don't know. I just pour it until it tastes right. And I don't understand that concept. But I miss her. I really do miss that aspect of her. The other real important thing that my mom was, she was an amazing woman spiritually. She was a real praying woman. And for those of you that might have grown up in a church, you know what that's like. My mother would wake up the house at 6 a.m. praying loud. And don't find yourself being rebellious or trying to act up, because she will come in your room, pull those covers off your head, anoint you with oil, and put that hand on your head and pray for you. And the reality is you actually felt better. Like one time I was trying to be mad. I was like, I'm not going to let go. I'm not going to let go. And as soon as she finished praying, I actually did feel better. And I recently on a Facebook post put up a picture of my mother, and it was amazing to me how many people commented about how there were times that they were going through real personal situations, and my mother offered them prayer, and they felt better after the prayer and their situations changed. So I just wanted to take this moment to just explore, how we're dealing with this loss. I need to do a little more research, and I would love to hear some comments from you and thoughts from you about how you deal with the loss of a mother, or why is it so personal? Is it because, we came through their loins? Is it because we were a part of them? And now that ultimate separation causes us to deal with the loss a little bit different than other losses. So I lost my father, and it was very, very painful for me as well. But when my mother passed away, there was the only way I can describe it. Literally, I felt like I was standing still and someone was just pouring sand on my head. And so I want to end this by not only asking you a question about, why is the loss of a mother so difficult for us to survive, but I also am interested in your ideas around how we can pay homage to our moms. I know we have Mother's Day, and you see us all post those, wish my mom was here, or any given moment, the broken heart. But I would love for us to just put together some movement where we can honor our moms and feel excited about it. So today, during this podcast, I'm honoring her by sharing her story. You wouldn't have known who she was or what she did if it weren't for this podcast. So thank you for listening. I decided to wear something bright and colorful. And more importantly, these earrings are my mom's earrings. She had bought them for herself a really long time ago, and she loved them. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to wear them today. So they're gold earrings, and I'm wearing hoops to remember my mom. And I'm really excited that I was able to get through this podcast without crying. One more thing, though, I do want to mention is that my mother was the first person who shared ice cream with me. For those of you who know me, know that I absolutely love ice cream. I love ice cream. I can eat ice cream over meals any day, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I'm your ice cream girl. And you know what? I'm not alone, because I know there's that hashtag ice cream lover out there. So my mother would, on Wednesdays, take me to Carvel for buy one, get one free Sundays, and we would have ice cream. And I realized that's where the love of ice cream is anchored, and the fact that I would share that precious time with her over a dessert that we both love. So thank you for listening. Tune into Shellie Soapbox, subscribe, and most importantly, I want to hear your ideas. Please share them in the comment section or send me an email at shelliesoapbox@gmail.com. Thank you.